Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the semifinals of the LiuLi Cup 2025 Grand Finals playoffs. Here we go. Yesterday, of course, we were live with the quarterfinals, and now we're here with our top four, and we already have one finalist, Cyril. He took down Rogue in the previous series in a strong showing, 3-0. That final game was a little bit shakier, of course, and there was a lot going on there, but in the end, we're still able to close it out. And I'm hoping for a bit of a more back and forth series here with our next set of players, with our next semifinals. Once again, a best of 5, and it's going to be a rematch. As I mentioned before, Reynor did defeat Maru previously in December in the RSL offline finals. That was back in December. That was a big offline event happening in South Korea. Meanwhile, Reynor also defeated Maru in Thunderfire, the Thunderfire All-Star Invitational, also that was back in January, and now they face off again. Like, they've been playing a lot. They've been playing a lot as of late. They've been learning from each other. They've been growing with each other as well, and we'll see how our rematch series compares. Let's go. Let's live up to here as we're jumping into game one. Game one is going to be on the Old Republic. Now, when it comes to Maru's, I mean, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to their preferred styles in their respective matchups. We'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player. The Italian Zerg, the Blue Zerg for Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. They're facing off once again. This time in the semifinals, this time in a best of 5, and we'll see how they compare to each other. Now, coming into this matchup, I'm ready. I'm excited. Maru has been adjusting and adapting his TvZ quite a lot over the past 6 months, which I do appreciate. One of the big criticisms last year was Maru and was his more, I would say, limited and restrictive style. If you're watching Maru back in the first half or even the first 3 quarters of 2025, we saw a lot of mech and we saw a lot of ARAXs, and that was it. It was either mech or ARAX or mech, and that was all he had to show in TvZ. But post-patch and post-map pool, Maru has kind of spread his wings and has been going for quirkier builds. As you're seeing here, CC first. CC first out of Maru, hyper greed out of our Terran player, and he should get away with it. Speaking of getting away with it, he can't keep getting away with it. I stand. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the generosity today, I stand. Thank you so much for the tips, for the donations earlier, but also now for the gifted subs to the community. 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it, I stand. Gifting subs to Factor, to New Gen Dad, to Yenmi, to Lee DJ, and to Air Bear as well. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Time to get buenas noches, man. Buenas noches. Get some sleep. Get some rest. But yes, Maru, he does open up with a very greedy build, going CC first, going into a delayed Rax, and we'll see if he goes into something greedier from here. We have seen Maru be very diverse in his play. I was just kind of getting into that. How previously he was very one-note. He was very one-note in the first half of 2025, and honestly, I was very disappointed by that. Like, it was a bit of a lackluster 2025 as a result of that. But coming into the end of 2025, post-patch and post-map pool, we've been seeing Maru be a little more aggressive, a little more active, a little more diverse in his play. It's been a little more exciting and enticing to see Maru over the past 6 months? 5 months? Yeah, like 5-ish months. Has been great to see. Likewise, Reynor has also been able to spread his wings as well because of the new patch. Lingbane is a lot more viable. He was already a Lingbane enjoyer, more so than Cyril, who was very fond of roaches, for example. So Reynor is also a very active player. That is why historically I would say that Reynor, he had better performances against Clem compared to Cyril due to this more active style. Of course, infamously in recent months, Reynor has been enjoying Ling Infestor Ultra, which is skipping roaches and skipping banelings and going straight into Hive Tech. Ling slip in, and we do confirm. Oh my god, even Maru pulling the boys? Yeah, it's night mining time. Why the boys are being pulled, the Reaper was already out, now coming back home. So the night is mining and also confirms the 3rd CC. So big scout here by Reynor. Confirms the 3 CC setup, confirms the greed out of his opponent. So Reynor's aware of the greed Reynor cannot punish. Cannot punish it. But this may inform Reynor coming into the rest of the series, right? It wouldn't be surprising to me if, say, on White Rabbits or on Winter Madness, Reynor decides to open up pool first. Just because Maru, he's shown his willingness to open up a CC first. Sorry, I say pool first, but going into like an early Roach All-In or something like that. On some of these other maps. Bearing in mind that a pool first wouldn't actually punish the CC first. True, true. For now, though, it's going to be 3 CC Banshee out of Maru, getting into his own Cloak. So Cloak is being researched. Reynor is dipping in with the Overlord, and Reynor, he should confirm what's going on. As Maru does continue Hellion production, we can see here that Maru is making a Marine to deny Overlord Scouts, but that will delay the add-on here. Yeah, the Marine will focus down. As we have an extra pair of Hellions on the way. Reynor behind this droning, saturating. Reynor is going to be going Lair first. So Reynor, he decides to delays Evo Chambers and delays Baneling Nest. Ooh, and is even actually going for the earlier Roach Warren, but a really good call because Reynor, what did he see? We know it's mech. And again, it's not the first time we've seen Maru play mech. I said this before, but the first half of 2025, we saw a lot of mech out of Maru, double armory. But what did Reynor confirm? He confirmed the lack of add-ons on that racks. The fact that there were Marines and there were no add-ons, that was a big tell. That's why I brought it up. It was very suspicious. It is because it's going to be mech. So good call out of Reynor, going for the Roach Warren. A very good call. Clutch Transfuse, keeping the drones alive. Banshee's going to be zoned away. And again, we do have that big switch into mech coming. And Reynor has an idea as to what's going on. Otherwise, he would not have gone the Roach Warren. It's back to early 2025. Let's go. Now, this is, of course, going to be the Battle Mech Banshee variation of mech, where you do commit into a heavy Banshee count and you keep making Banshees. What are the role? What's the purpose of the Banshees? Well, to harass, to deal economic damage, to shut down and punish Roach pushes, just because Roaches do not push up. Oh, sorry, they don't hit up, they don't shoot up. And these Banshees are a really strong supportive unit here for the Battle Mech army, or just the mech army in general. This is something that was popularized by TY. This was what, back in 2023? It was before he retired. It was like 2023, 2024. Before he did retire. As Reynor does poke in. It does slip in towards the main. At the same time, drones are going to be going down the Banshees. They poke in once again. Getting 3, 4 drone kills. Nice pickups. Getting it to 5. And still not yet done. And 9 more workers here in the main base. And you can see how difficult it is for the Zerg player to deal with this. Just because when you're up against mech, you're getting into Roaches, your anti-air is very limited. You have Queens to defend, but Queens are quite slow in comparison to speed Banshees. So that's going to be 8 drone kills and every Banshee survives. They do pull away. Likewise, these Banshees are not just designed to hunt down workers and to support the army, but they can also snipe infestors. So if Reynor does go Roach Infestor, when it comes to these main pushes, the Banshees can just dive and focus down those infestors. It's very similar to to the dynamic between High Templar and Mutas. Where Mutas, their goal is also to dive in and focus on those High Templar and deny the storm. Similar here. Again, Maru does poke in. Does threaten the Queens. Behind this, we have a Raven on the way. Hive has now begun for Reynor. Working towards the spellcasters. It does work towards them. Spires on the way for eventually Corruptors and eventually eventually Broodlord play. Now, what the scariest thing about what's happening here is that Reynor's been stuck at home. Oh, nice round. Yeah, very nice round as Maru does overextend, losing every single Hellion. Ay, ay, ay. Big catch for Reynor. What I was about to say, though, is that Maru has been freely expanding. His 4th base is getting up. He's not going into Cyclone production. Bear that in mind. He was going Hellion tank, and the tank count is very high. So Reynor is in trouble as he's failing to slow down the economy of Maru. I mean, there's not much he can do right now. Just stuck at home, losing drones, losing gas geysers. Again, just free damage here from the Banshees. And Vipers are on the way. That will be the answer to the Banshees. Is going to be Parasite Bombs. These are trying to keep up. The Vipers are slowly amassing. And Maru, he's actually pushing here right now. Okay, just before maxing out. He's going for the early push, the early timing. He's got he's got 8 tanks, 2 Thors, soon to be 5. And it's going to be difficult for Reynor to engage. Yeah, the mech army is moving in. Armor missile here on the right-hand flank. Decent blinding clouds covering the tanks. It does cover the tank. Lings coming from behind. Hellbats are out of position. And we get a surround. Yeah, Reynor, he pulls off the surround. He barely cleans us up. Takes down every single tank. Shows the miles. Up, up. Oh my god. We get the final tank does full. And Reynor holds. Reynor, he does hold on. Bearing in mind that was a very expensive army here for Maru, losing 8 tanks across the map. That was meant to kill. That was supposed to kill. But again, Maru, he was out of position with his Hellbats. Again, he needed those Hellbats to defend against the flank. To defend against the surround. And without Maru, he's going to be forced back. What's he down to? He's down to 3 tanks and 4 Thors. Reynor can now start being active. You know, start being active. Getting into 2-2-2. Getting into all the upgrades. Now maxing out. Unfortunately, it looks like Bailing Speed has slipped our mind. So no Bailing Speed here for Reynor. That is not intentional. And hopefully, there we go. Does now start up. Lightning Cloud's going to be coming in. Oof. And Bailings, they cannot engage. Again, did forget about Bailing Speed. At the same time, Lings, they do come in for the counterattack. Lings, they peel off into the 3rd. SCVs will go down. More importantly, this forces the army back home. So Maru does turn around. He raises back home to defend. More SCV kills. Getting it to 7. Reynor just pulling Maru apart. And Maru out of position, losing another tank. And Reynor's just trying to slow Maru down as best he can. Maru is going for that really heavy Thor composition, though. He's done with tanks, mainly Thor. Do we have Neural? The answer is no. Oh, that's a little bit scary. There is no Neural, so Infestors are not going to be really too much of a factor here. Hellbat Thor can be terrifying. And we need Neural soon. He threatens a run by. Nice abduction on the Vikings. Let's go. Takes on the Vikings. Maru, he's remaxing. He's remaxing now, and he does build up to 4 tanks, so just a handful of tanks sprinkled in. Again, mainly Thor. Thors are quite tanky. Thors, they can do well trading against Roaches as well, but we do miss rally here. We have 3 Thors out in the open. Thankfully, Maru does pull back. She also is blinding clouds. Oh, not quite. As Maru, he reinforces. Again, a very beefy army here from Maru. Doesn't quite commit. Again, the ideal for Reynor would be to collapse to lock down the army and then mass Blinding Cloud, right? Blinding Cloud all the Thors. That is the ideal. Fusion cores on the way. We're thinking about BCs. Oh, Hellions, they do wedge themselves in the Mineral Line. Very quick siege. Jeez. He's got advanced servos. Lings go down, drones go down as well. Brutal damage. And even killing the expansion. The Banshees, they're still alive. Finally going to be shut down. Going for the mass power bombs. Neural is now done. I believe there's no infestors yet. Yeah, there's no infestors, so they're just now starting up. Reynor now has a stronger army versus the Thors, or at least he soon will. 8 infestors on the way. And as we're settling down, big shout out to Sal. Alpatry. Thank you so much, Alpatry. Thanks for Sal for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. Sorry for not giving attention at the time. There was a lot going on. But thank you. Thank you. Sal. Looking forward to the Hupsaya show match. Money match. Kappa. Oh no. Sal. Armor shot goes off. And let's check on the Blinding Clouds. Once again, zoning back the tanks. Slowing down Maru. And to slow him down. As I mentioned before, again, Thors are very clunky. And they need more support. I'm a little bit surprised to see no Greater Spire yet out of Reynor. He's got the Spire ready. But he doesn't have the tech to potentially transition. For now, he's just going to be committing here. Committing to Lingbane, Ravager, Infestor, Viper. As Maru does claim another expansion. He's taking this linear base. Pushing forward here into Reynor. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned here. Like, this army for Reynor can do well trading and skirmishing, but in longer drawn out games, that's where Broodlord Infestor is superior. To slowly just chip away at the army and be as efficient as possible. Oh, the Neurals! Finally! Can we buy them in time? Oh, it's gonna be close. Oof. Yeah, a little bit of a waste there. There we go. The Banshees do all get cleaned up. The Queens do arrive in time. Those Banshees have just gained so much value for Maru since the beginning of the game. Finally, they fall. And Maru's perfecting his army. We spoke earlier, we did point out the Fusion Core, but now we have the Ghost Academy as well. Throwing down 4 more Raxes. Again, the ideal late game for mech, or sorry, for Terran is going to be Ghost Mech. So it goes alongside Liberators, tanks, Thors. Let's get in there. Nice Blinding Clouds. Does cover the Thors. Thors are covered. Neural's going to be coming in as well. Getting on top of the Thors. And Reynor, can he take the fight? He cannot. The siege line is too good. Yeah, the siege line is too strong. Reynor, he plummets in supply. And he's stuck remaxing with Lingbane. With more Lingbane Ravager. As Maru, he bled out 3 Thors and 2 tanks in that fight. He killed all 8 Infestors. No more Neurals. Does go for the dive though. Comes in for the surround. Again, nice Blinding Cloud. Very nice Blinding Cloud. Does cover all 3 Thors. And he'll clean this up. He'll clean this up. He'll break the forward expansion. The MVP Viper is happy. As you mentioned, Blinding Clouds, they do so well here against the Thors. If you can lock them down. And we see Maru switching to Liberators. Switching to Libs. Tanks, Thors. Maru, he does take a fresh base top left, but can he actually hold on to that expansion? Reynor, he wants it. Does get us around. And it should fall. Yeah, there's no room to repair. TvZ cannot engage, and the planetary does get picked off. And that's pick up out of Reynor. Comes in from behind. Going for the other planetary, and Maru's just being torn apart. He's just being torn apart here. Losing base after base. Maru just cannot keep up. He doesn't have the supply to keep up, I should emphasize. And it's all just snowballing out of control. After that one big engagement, after the one big fight, it takes so long to rebuild that mech army. It takes so long, Bappy. Now he's got an orbital, not a planetary. Now the question becomes, can Maru slow the game down? Can he slow the game down? He still has plenty of potential expansions, still plenty of resources. He's trying to turtle up. Now we have Ghost in the mix as well. Maru keeps clouding the tanks, Reynor. He does cloud the tanks, more importantly the Thors as well. I would say that unfortunately the Ghosts came out a little bit too late. The Ghosts are now a part of the army, that's true, but if the Ghosts were available a little bit earlier, they would have been available to EMP, right? Like EMP would have been the counter to the Viper to stop all the blinding clouds. Speaking of, they continue. Swinging back the army. This time not able to engage, as now there are Liberators in the mix. So Maru does hold. Does hold on. There's the Greater Spire now on the way. Maru now thinking about Broodlords. Sorry, Reynor not thinking about Broodlords. I mean, maybe Maru is as well. True, true. Whether it's EMP, snipes, a higher Viking count as well, which is often the case. To zone away the Vipers. As Maru, he has remaxed. As I mentioned, he was able to turtle up, tighten up, rebuild, remax. Now with a more efficient army, instead of just purely tank Thor, now we have tank Thor, Ghost Liberator. But once again, Maru's out of position. Another mineral line goes down. Reynor, he finds a way in. Maru's down to 29 SCVs. He's down to a 1 base economy. I mean, mules are a thing, true. Mules back. And you could also argue this might in a way benefit Maru, especially because of how high his orbital count is and how many mules he has. But Maru does have a supermax army. Ooh, that's a lot of banelings that do not kill the tank. Not worth it. As Reynor does keep going for counterattacks. He wants those Liberators. Gets one. Not even. Very nice on siege. Quick moves out of Maru. Retaking bottom right. This time we have the abductions. Toss on Caesar's Liberators. The base is denied. Not many SCVs to kill. Does deny the expansion. Pushing further in. Opening up the center of the map. And remember, Reynor, he can afford to trade like this. He's losing a lot of Ling Bane here, but he has a massive bank to work with. Perfectly fine. The concerning thing about Ling Bane Roach Ravager that we were trying to emphasize earlier was that this doesn't really scale too well into a longer game if they stop dealing damage like this. Like, it's a very mobile composition to go in, to harass, to break down bases. If that starts to fail, then things can very quickly swing in favor of the Terran. But Reynor's been successful. Knocking down planetary after planetary. Reynor now pulling back. Again, still working on those upgrades in case he does need to eventually take into Broodlords. Working on +2. And how many Vipers do we have? 3. Not many actually. 3 Vipers. Reynor, he's... Oh, calm down. Trying to pull the trigger. Reynor has like 12 bases. Bearing in mind that Reynor hasn't taken any important bases yet. Mass snipes, very nice. Yeah, punishing the queens. Lingbane rolls in, catching out three ghosts. Most of them do get away. Better engage here for Maru. What's important is that bottom right and center right are untouched, and same with, in a way, center left, which was Maru's base. But when it comes to a split map scenario like this means that Maru, he has 3 bases available to him. Oh! Spains, they don't quite catch up the ghosts. A couple of ghosts go down. Nice. Better fight here once again. Maru, he does break through. Breaks through, takes down the expansion, and this is scary. So for Reynor to keep up with Maru, he needs one of these center bases, whether it's center left or center right. Remember, he needs to be up in expansion. He needs more resources. Maru does have the more efficient army. And if Maru can deny this center expansion and make sure that Reynor never takes these bases, then Maru can eventually just outtrade and overwhelm. Again, the higher base count and the higher bank for Reynor doesn't really matter here, because technically the bank for Maru is here. Like this is his bank. Bottom right, center right. These resources belong to Maru. They're his. And now he's taking Reynor's bases, or at least denying them. So this is a really scary moment for Reynor. Reynor is now switching into Broodlords. He's going into Broodlord Infestor. Was he stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager too long? That's my concern. This is a very late switch, and because this switch is so late, Reynor doesn't have a bank. We spoke about this earlier, but Broodlord Infestor is a much more efficient composition, much more efficient. Lingbane Roach Ravager is worth it if you're knocking down bases, and to be fair, Reynor was until the very end. Oh, he non expansions. Reynor's now trying to double expand himself. Reynor's taking both center expansions, but I don't see him holding on to one of them. As Broodlords are moving in, they do reveal themselves. There's 11 ghosts. And Maru's at least aware of the location of the Broodlords. They're not very mobile, so the idea of them rotating to the right-hand side is very low. What's important as Reynor applies pressure on the left is that this also allows him to expand on the right-hand side, as he's drawing the army to the left-hand side as well. There's the scan. Maru, he knows he has to engage. As we mentioned, his win condition is deny that center base. Deny the base. Meanwhile, the right-hand flank is exposed. Nice run by. Yeah, nice run by. Nice counterattack. Maru's out of position. And on the one hand, Maru, he does take down that expansion, but what's important here is that now that Reynor denies this center expansion, he can even go for a run here on the right-hand side as well. He's going for it. Yeah, he's going for the planetary. Maru cannot afford to lose this. He needs this expansion. Nice target firing. And as target firing SCV is going to be going down, losing 21 SCVs. Yeah, heavy losses here for Maru. And sure, Maru, he killed a hatchery, but this was still a better trade for Reynor, as Reynor was able to take down and deny 2 mineral lines. Oh, Snipe's coming in. Gets a Broodlord. Now Maru's done a decent job at splitting up his army. Previously, he had too much committed on the left-hand side, and now he only has his ghosts here, and he pushes on the right. And he denies both center expansions. So Reynor, he'll lose center right and center left. And you can still argue that Maru comes out on top in this trade. You can see Reynor building up and perfecting his army. 4 more Broodlords. Gonna have up to 18. 18 Broodlords, 8 Infestors. It's still going to be a very clutch and intense main fight. It'll come down to the fungals. It'll come down to the neurals. It'll come down to the EMPs. True. Ideally, Reynor, he needs to fungal those ghosts to stop their snipes. If he fails to land that fungal, then the game can just end. Maru can dominate, but again, that's a lot of infestors. Maru slowly pushing forward. Main armies are about to clash. Where are the ghosts? I was about to say. Yeah, the ghosts are a little bit late to the party, but they're coming. I spoke too soon. They're being kept busy. Reynor, he knows that the ghost won't be a part of this, at least not initially. Gets one. Gets a Thor, gets a tank. But Maru is slowly pushing forward. I'm still not fond of the idea of the ghost not being a part of this. I'll be honest. So far, Maru is gaining ground. He's slowly gaining ground here. He's within range of the expansion. He should be forcing the Broodlords to engage. At the same time, Reynor, if he can get himself with those ghosts, tempted. Goes to the mineral line. Yeah, 17 SCVs go down. Nice harassment. Jesus, the mule hammer. The power of the mule, pappy. Who needs SCVs? Aye, aye, aye. And Maru does get the expansion. Takes down the base. We do see a Reynor repositioning. Takes down the tank. Gets one. Almost two. Yeah, Thor gets caught out. Thor was on A move. Nice pick off here by Reynor. And Maru does rotate everything to the right hand side. Okay, does consolidate his army. Once again, the mules. And again, Maru doesn't have to push any further. Again, it's all about denying the center bases. Rotates, kills the hatchery, pulls away, rotates, kill the hatchery, pull away. Oh, there's an opening. Tanks are exposed. Maru's out of position. Gets one, gets two tanks for free. Very nice big here by Reynor. Very nice. Broodlord's still shocking around. They get another tank. Now, this is where the game is kind of catching up to Reynor a little bit, which is concerning. So, I mentioned earlier how Maru, he has a massive bank to work with, right? He has these two bases that belong to Maru, and he's gathering those resources as we speak. Because Reynor has failed to mine from these center bases, now, once these bases start mining up for Maru, he can start to take Reynor's expansions. And that's what's happening here. This is huge. This is Maru winning this game, as he's taking resources away from Reynor. Hellions, they threaten to dive. Oh my god. Barely don't get in. But Reynor, he is in trouble. Maru pushing further in, using this as a launch point. Pushing to the natural. Broodlords are out of position. Distracted by the Hellions. And again, Broodlords are so slow. This might even prompt a base trade. As Maru, he can just push in. He can just walk into the he can just walk into the natural, kill the hive, walk into the main base, get the greater spire. He can just walk in back. As Broodlords, they're racing back home. That's a lot of Broodlords, true. It's a lot of Broodlords. As they turn around, the Hellbats, they come back. Going for the hatchery. Because Maru's taking... He's hunting. No, there's no detection. No, the snipes. 3, 4. Oh my god. Almost 5. You have 5 Broodlords get caught. The fungal though. Oh my god. The punish. The fungals do punish. This was worth it here for Reynor. Cashing out almost every single ghost. Ay, ay, ay. Maru, he got too greedy, Pap. He got too greedy. He got 6 Broodlords for 8 ghosts. At the same time, Lings are counterattacking, distracting. Trying to buy time. So we're getting messy. We're getting messy. As Reynor, he still has 15 Broodlords. Meanwhile, Maru, he's replacing all those ghosts. Now, the scariest thing here is the Greater Spire, right? All the tech. The Hive was just sniped. The Greater Spire is under fire as well. And Reynor, he has no bank. He has no bank, he has no drones. Unlike Maru, Reynor, he has no mules. So Reynor's economy is very, very stifled. It's barely there. And it looks like Maru's done it. Like, sure, Reynor still has a big army to work with. I mean, even then, though, like, Reynor, he's lost his tech, he's lost his economy, and he has lost his army. And Maru is, again, taking bases that otherwise did belong to Reynor. Reynor's got 1 fight. He's got 1 fight in him. So 1 Hail Mary play, Pappy. As he lost everything in the bases. When it comes to his tech, I believe Reynor has nothing. Yeah, I mean, he has no money. So Reynor, if you're curious about his structures, he has the infestation bit that's slowly bleeding out and hatcheries. He has no spawning pool, no roach warren, no spire, no nothing. Reynor cannot make anything. But on top of that, Reynor, he has no money anyway. So that's why, like, Reynor, he's got 1 fight. He's got 1 fight in him. The only thing Reynor's making is infestors because the only tech structure he has is the infestation pit. That's all he has left. Reynor's broke. And again, why is Reynor broke? Because Maru's win condition was deny the bases. Remember, deny center left, deny center right. That's all you got to do. Deny those bases until that you can take them yourself. Imagine if the infestation was killed. Like, thankfully, at least again, Reynor can make more infestors. He's building up to 21 infestors, soon to be 23. Scan does reveal the mass infestor army. A couple of well-placed EMPs will completely shut this down. And I'm sure Maru's tempted. He keeps scanning. Ghost, they lead the charge. Yeah, Broodlords are coming in. They're at least trying to. Yeah, but Reynor, he just cannot engage. Not into this. We got too much freedom. There goes. He wants the EMP. Oh, lands 1. Yeah, lands 1 EMP. Gets a snipe off as well. Gets an infestor. That was just 1 ghost. Ah. He's going to do it again. He's doing it again here. Another EMP lands. And he's going for it. He commits. Yeah, he moves in into tank fire. Massive tank shots going off. The infestors, they get punished. Yeah, infestors are punished. Infestors are denied. Ghosts are moving forward. Snipes going off on the Broodlords. And with that, Reynor, he'll lose everything. The Broodlords are going down one after the other. He tries to engage. He tries to break through. But GG gets called. And Maru, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As Maru does take a lead in the series. Again, Reynor, he had a stronger mid-game, but if you recall, we had our concerns about the mid-game. If you recall, we were talking about how is Reynor staying on a low-tech army for too long. And at the time, it was okay, like staying on Lingbane Ravager, as we mentioned, it's okay if you're knocking down bases, right? If you're knocking down expansions, getting into mineral lines, then it is worth it to stay on that kind of army. But eventually, he was outscaled, right? He was outscaled. He had a later switch into Broodlord Infestor, and because of that, we saw that Maru was able to stabilize. We tried to emphasize it didn't really matter that Maru was losing these bases as long as it was able to retake them eventually, right? Like it's kind of like a slower, more macro view of the game, where like it doesn't matter that Reynor is up in expansions. That's not really much of a factor here. What matters is, can he ensure that Maru can't expand himself and maintain his own economy, which Maru did. Maru he was able to take bottom right. He was able to take center left as well. Was able to build up and of course perfect his army, getting into Ghost Mech, right? Get into that perfect composition. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting to game number 2. We'll see if Reynor can bounce back. We'll see if Maru can extend his lead. So we load into game number 2, going to be on Winter Madness. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Maru. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. Wow, Reynor's poor, Maru did it. Yeah, as we were, that's why during the game itself, as we're opening up 2x Reaper, we were trying to emphasize once the game slows down into a macro late game, like split map scenario, what matters most is those center expansions. And the fact that Reynor couldn't take them and that he was behind. Like Reynor, he was behind for like the second half of that game. As you mentioned, as soon as he lost the fight on the right hand side, as soon as he got pushed back and punished for his Ling Ravager, and Maru was able to just like perfect his army into that Ghost Mech composition, it was like, no, yeah, like Maru, he's in control of this. But here we go. Here we go. It is going to be 2x Reaper out of Maru. Behind this, we could go into a third Rax, but for the time being here, just going for an aggressive start. Remember, this is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. It's a way to be aggressive. It's a way to apply pressure. And what I'm most curious about is the follow-up. Now, what's important here is that 2x Reaper typically leads into a CC and typically leads into a 2-1-1. But we have seen both Maru and Bjorn mess around with 2x Reaper into mech. Like they have been messing around with that. It is designed to catch your opponent off guard and to catch them with their pants down. So that's also something in the back of my mind, is the potential mech follow-up, which sounds crazy, but it's meant to be inefficient. It's meant to catch your opponent like unawares. For now, Reynor did open pool first. So pool first opener out of Reynor. Lings, they move out across the map. Reynor, he is not aware as to what's happening. He doesn't know what he's up against, and I will say these Lings should be punished. Yeah, Reaper's revealed. Oh, Reynor, he avoids the Reaper. Okay, nice move. Avoids the Reaper, and Reynor, he might be able to delay the CC. It's going to be close. Yeah, Maru moves in, confirms the expansion. Lings, they do hit the natural. And can they even force a cancel? Reaper does race back home to defend. SCV's under fire. We'll lose one. One SCV goes down. A nice start for Reynor. Is a nice start. And this also gives time, right? This is also giving Reynor a little bit more time here. He pulls out a gas. It is not uncommon to see like a Bane Bust follow-up after a 2x Reaper, as Maru is going for a very fast third CC. So again, 2x Reaper into a natural, into a third CC. Very greedy follow-up here from Maru. He's getting his tech lab. And this should be a 3cc 2-on-1. It should be. Eyes on Maru. Yeah, stim begins. Okay, stim does begin. Technically, we could go for like a third or fourth Rax behind this, but after a third CC, like it should just be standard. Nice control out of Maru. Ooh, we'll lose one Reaper. One Reaper goes down. And what's important is that Maru, it's not about going in and killing workers, it's about containing. Reynor doesn't have a third. Very late third base for Reynor. So Reynor, his own mid game is going to be weaker. His own economy is weaker as well. as he's now looking to expand. The Reapers, they deny the third base. Ay, ay, ay. Reynor, he just wants the third. Oh, meanwhile, Maru wants a queen. Ling's aiming for this round. Nice catch. Oh, the KDA charge does allow for 3 Reapers to barely get away. And Maru, he slips out. Unless the player would have lost all 4 Reapers there. Does pull back home, and Reynor can finally expand. There's a 420 third base timing. Like, that's... We can finally get an expansion. Now, because this third base is so late, this 2-on-1 should be hitting even harder. We could even see Maru. It's not uncommon to see Maru go for a greedy build into an 8 Rax. So we'll keep an eye on his Raxes, we'll keep an eye on his tech. As again, the Reapers, they're being cleaned up. They're finally being shut down. Meanwhile, Maru behind this is working towards that reactor to medevac production. Medevacs are on the way. Oh, and do you see what I see? Mech. And do you remember what we said at the very beginning of this game, actually, talking about how it's not uncommon for Beyond and Maru to go for a 2-Rax Reaper opener into Mech as a follow-up to catch their opponent off guard? We're kind of seeing that here. Double factory, faster armory as well for Hellbats. I mean, I say for Hellbats, there are no Hellions whatsoever, actually. Just switching into Mech. That also explains why there's only one eBay. True, true. But the validation. But again, like, we've seen Maru do this quite commonly. I'm sure that this is also in the back of Reynor's mind. This is the downside of going for this a little bit too often after the 2-Rax Reaper opener, is that your opponent should be getting used to that and should be a little bit more aware of that. The first time it happens, it's like a crazy, like, out of left field build. Here, less so. Oh, no, sorry, this is not Mech. He canceled the tank. Right? No, sorry, he got one. He got one tank. He's going into Drilling Claws as a follow-up. This, if you remember, we saw... Actually, the last time they played, we saw this during Maru versus Reynor at Thunderfire, where he's going into Drilling Claws, and he's actually going into mid-game Widowmine drops, which is almost never seen in TvZ. You used to see this a little bit against Protoss, but this is something unique that Maru's been doing this year. That's why I mentioned Thunderfire. Thunderfire was in January. Ooh, oh god, the Lings get out of hand. Oh my god, 14 SCVs. Yeah, the mineral line goes down. Massive pickups back at home. Reynor does defend, and Maru completely out of position. 15 workers go down. That should not have happened. Aye, aye, aye. Before we can get into the Master's Drilling Claw, like, drop play, like, Maru's economy is stifled. He gets punished for his double drop. He also gets punished for not having Hellions either, true. This downside of going into Mass Widowmine. And here comes the drop play. We got one drop on the left, one drop on the top side. Again, we already saw this previously against Reynor back in January. And Reynor, I'm sure, is more aware of this as a result. Now, this is a pretty big investment from Maru to go for the second factory this quickly, and to invest into Drilling Claws. So far, it has not been worth it. Nice splits, nice reactions. And so far, 2 drone kills. Oh, potential here in the natural. Getting 2 more, 4 in total. Denying mining time. And the drop play continues. Remember, we're not gonna stop. We're still making more medevacs and more widow mines. Now the problem is that this does add up over time. Like, it's pretty expensive to keep doing this, and if you fail to get damage done, then it's not really too worth it here. But here we go. The mine drops they continue. Again, can he make it work? Jesus. Yeah, it does pull away in time. I spoke too soon. 16 drones go down. Oh no, here, yeah, 16 workers do go down in the end. Maru does catch him off guard. No mine show in the main base, but that now is worth it. Oh no. As we get 3 more. So 3 more drones go down. Nice retargeting. 24 kills. Ay, ay, ay. It's adding up. It's not worth it. The drops continue. They're still going out. One of mine almost resets here at the 3rd base. Boosting in towards the natural. This time Reynor, he's locking in, paying attention. Kills him out of act. Oh my god. Close. We're still going. And again, I would say that this was wasteful if Maru didn't just kill 25 drones. Right, that's what's important here. Did kill 25. We just keep dropping. And he just kept dropping back. And more Widow Mines on the way. But now we built up into Hydras. Widow Mines drop into the mineral line. Nice connections. 5 drones. Oof. Yeah, 5, 6 drones go down. Another drop towards the left-hand side. The drops continue. Are we hitting diminishing returns? Maybe. I don't know. Just because now there are Hydras, right? Now there are Hydras, now there are Vipers, now there's a better answer here to the mine drops. And Maru should calm down, but he's still going. I feel like at this point we need to calm down and back up. But he's not stopping. Drawing back in. Reynor, he does pull away. Good reactions. 3 drones. 3 drones go down. Reynor does react well. Mine drops, they can just keep going. They keep going. And I guess the other added benefit here, as you're kind of seeing, isn't just the damage that's been done, as mine drops don't quite connect. Another drop on the left hand side, but this is also making sure that Reynor is stuck at home. Reynor has not moved out at all this entire game, except for that Ling run by earlier that killed 15 SCVs. But outside of that run by, Reynor, he's been stuck at home. And Maru's getting a 4th. Maru's getting a 4th base. Massive mine connection on Zerglings. 13 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. Another 13 drone kills. And Maru's maxing. He's maxing out. Getting to his bio army. +3. 3's on the way. Ghosts are on the way. It's all just been keeping Reynor busy. And now the drop play ends. Now the drop play has concluded. And in the end, it was worth it for Maru. It was worth it. Just because of the game state that we're currently in. Maru's getting a 5th. He's getting a 5th expansion. Crazy big power spike for Maru. Getting up to 5 bases. Building up into mass bio into Ghost. Maru has almost perfected his army. I mean, he's getting there. And Reynor can still engage as good as Ling Main Hydra. Might just get baited. So Reynor's looking for another way in. Yeah, Maru, you can see him already preemptively evacuates. Understanding that most likely he will lose the planetary. Again, this space is just so open, so exposed. Planetary goes down. And Bailey's gonna get on top of the bio. Nice splits. Very nice split, very nice spread. Maru holds. Or he does hold on. Those no other counterattack at the same time. Those no other run by. Maru does defend. And now we can secure this position. Sensor tower, planetary, CC. And this is a big scary moment for Reynor. Typically, the Zerg player wants to fight for the 4th and fight for the 5th base of the Terran. Or I should say, the Terran wants to fight for their bases. And you can see that's kind of happening here, but for the most part, Maru's 4th base is completely secure, so Maru, he can remax. He can build up his bank, he can max out. Reynor's in a really rough position, especially because he's stuck on Ling Bane Hydra. This is actually very similar to last game, actually, where we were a little bit concerned about Reynor being stuck on Ling Bane Roach, Ling Bane Roach Ravager, where it doesn't really scale well into a longer game. It's similar here, where Ling Bane Hydra, can do amazing when it comes to its maneuverability, right? It's a very mobile composition, and you can catch an army in the center of the map, you can rotate back and forth to the top side, to the south side, and knock down bases. But the moment you stop knocking down bases, then you fall behind. So Reynor's going for the planetary. Can he get it? Ghosts are coming in. Blinding Cloud on the planetary. The planetary does go down. Yeah, nice pick off. There we go. Nice pick off. Planetary falls. 17 SCVs as well. And Reynor, he needs to keep doing this. Just like last game. He needs to keep denying these bases. If he starts failing to do so, then again, he'll just be outscaled. Just be outscaled. So he has to back off, rebuild his Bane, and then go for this planetary. But the problem is that now we're so much more entrenched here. Now there's more SimCity, a tank line, Widow Mines, another expansion's on the way. Again, I'm concerned that Reynor, this army, it's already just running out of its longevity. It's already expiring. But let's go. Okay, does find a couple of free tanks are on their own. Gets 1, 2, potentially 3 tanks. 4? 3. Okay, 3 tanks go down. Ah, there we go. Gets a 4th, gets a 5th. Very nicely done here. Very nice run by. All these tanks were exposed. Oh, Paley's they crash into bio as well. Messy defense out of Maru. And suddenly, okay, this is working. Reynor, he's pulling this off. He's building up more Ling Bane. We're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna catching out tanks, catching out bases, catching Maru out of position. Ideally, Reynor would have some tech behind this. The fact that he doesn't is a little bit concerning. Whether it's an Ultra Cavern or whether it's a Spire and a Greater Spire. Reynor, he's completely devoted here to Ling Bane Hydra. Reynor's trying to commit. Massive tank shots going off. Snipes as well on the Hydras. Oof. Yeah, snipes, they punish. And Reynor, that was a lot of losses here. He does land 1 Baneling connection here on the right-hand side. Does catch some ghosts. Gets 1. When I say some. He got 1 ghost. 1 ghost went down. Did catch a couple of tanks. Maru, he does hold on. We got a nuke on the way as well. Nice catch on the Banelings. So far, nice tanking. Nice tanking out of Maru. Reynor at the same time going for a run by. There is no planetary. The base is exposed. Nice run by. Wings, they slip in. There's 9 mining. SCV's going to be going down. Ling Bane collapsing on top of the Ghost. The Ghost, they do barely slip away. Hot pickup. Yeah, nice control. Better control here from Maru. He's breaking through. Reynor, he's running out of Ling Bane. And he has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. He has to respect those Ghosts. Yeah, mass snipe on the Queens. The expansion is going to go down. Massive pick up here for Maru. There's only 1 Baneling. It connects, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, just the 1 Baneling. Nice power bomb here out of Reynor. Getting a lot of value. Ghost, they pull away. And Reynor, he barely doesn't have enough here. He's lost too many Hydras. The Viper, no, get out of here. The Viper pulls back. Maru does get the expansion. And Reynor's in trouble. It's similar to what we had previously in that previous game state, where Reynor, he is unable to take the center bases. Does have a bank, though. He can afford to replenish his Ling Bane Hydra for now. And it's all about Reynor ensuring that these fringe bases don't get up and running for Maru. Meanwhile, technically, Maru doesn't have to really worry about the fringe expenses of Reynor. It's all about denying the center bases to make sure that they can eventually become Marus. So again, center left and center right. These 2 bases are kind of like the pivotal expansions. Reynor does try to commit. Going through the choke point, nice biting cloud. Tanks are late to siege. They're late to siege up, but Banelings are still being punished. They do connect with the tanks. Not ideal. Again, Maru was late to set up. Now going to be incorporating Liberators. You can definitely argue that Reynor overextended pushing through that choke point. Nice opposition micro. Being as annoying as possible. And Maru moving in. Once again, forcing the arm to engage into a choke point. Oh, massive tank shots. And again, Reynor, he overextends. We cannot push through that ramp. It's not gonna happen. Base goes down, that's a kill, not a cancel. Oh my god, massive fungal though. Yeah, very nice fungal. Catches at the buyer, the ghosts all do get away. That was the only infestor. That was the only infestor. And it was a nice engage there from Reynor, but he still lost the expansion. And oh, Maru's taking his own. This is a scary moment. Reynor, he cannot let these bases get up and running. He can't let it happen. Oh, the Mule Hammer. Reynor's getting one more infestor once again. I believe that's the only one. Yep, just one infestor. Lings, they move in, they do catch a tank. Nice rotation, getting one, getting two, getting three tanks. Three tanks go down, Lings, they flood into the mineral line. Again, this area has just been very vulnerable, very fragile. And Reynor does punish. Now, what's important here as he gets 11 SCVs is now that he takes down this expansion, Reynor can take top right and center right. He's taking these two expansions. Oh, that's still not good enough. So even if Reynor takes these two bases, if Reynor can't take center left, then Reynor's still behind. Like, Reynor needs to be up an expansion over his opponent. In the long run, I mean, like when it comes to like the overall amount of resources available to you in the late game. Alright, shots going up. Ling Bane collapsing in. A bit of an awkward engage here out of Reynor, bleeding out a lot of Ling Bane. Yeah, that was not worth it. As Maru does bully him back. And takes over the center expansion. Oh. It does take it to the space. On the one hand, yes, Maru, he fails to take or sustain center right. Base on the right hand side. But there are two fresh bases here for Maru. Two fully fresh bases with a high yield gas geyser as well, which is untouched. True. Untouched gas geyser. Reynor, he barely mined through this from this expansion. As Reynor, he has to collapse in. Does binding cloud on one of the tanks. Fungal as well. Ooh, massive fungal. There goes. He gets 5. 5, 6 goes to down. Massive connections. Massive catch for Reynor. And again, Maru completely out of position. He was dragged over towards the right hand side. He was distracted. And Maru was distracted. And that was a big moment here for Reynor. He caught the ghost and he denied the expansion. Big win. Now, in my mind, it was 6. It was 8. Wow, 8 ghosts going down. Expensive losses for Maru. And Reynor has momentum. He has momentum. He has a lead. We're back in this kind of scenario where as long as Reynor can deny this center expansion from Maru, then he can take a lead himself. The Infestor's back. What's crazy, what we've been seeing so far out of Reynor is that... Oh, no, he knows. No. That was so unfortunate. I was so unlucky for Reynor. What I was going to say is that Reynor, we've seen 2 massive fungals this game so far, and it's always been with only 1 infestor. Like, he makes it count. Rotates bottom left, 17 SCVs go down. And Reynor, he has momentum, he has control of the game. He's taken a lead. And Maru is struggling. He's struggling here. Now, can Maru stabilize? He can, but he's a ways away from doing so. And Viper's getting called out. Lane Bane collapsing in. And Maru's out of position. Out of position. Pappy racing on over. Does deal with most of Ling Bane, actually. And not a bad trade out of Maru, but it was still a trade. That's the difficult thing here. Is it Reynor? He can afford to trade it efficiently. Can afford it. Once again, you can see Maru rotate all of his ghosts to the right hand side. He's anticipating a counterattack here on the right, but that also means that if Reynor pushes on the left, then the ghosts are not here to defend. Good call. Okay, it was worth it. Reynor keeping up with it. Sorry, Maru keeping up with the tempo of Reynor. As he did call the run by correctly. And now we can race over. So good call by Maru. As ghosts have now joined up with the main force. Reynor, now we're taking up a hive. The hive has been done, of course, but now we have Lurker Den, Spire, Greater Spire. Ling Runby does come in. This time Maru's out of position. He assumed that the Runbys had ended. Or he assumed it was like more of a focus on the rotation. Gets a tank. Tank goes down. You know what, Ghost Tank Fleet, they did stick around. Reynor coming in, massive fungal once again. It does land the fungal, Ghosts get caught, and the base is denied. And once again, denies the expansion. Oh, doesn't denies mining for a moment, but does not kill the base though. Okay. Doesn't kill the CC. You want that into the main base. Maru, he's very much so spread thin. Can they react to this in time? As we have 9 lurkers on the way. The lunkers are coming. Oh my god. Flash defense. Flash defense. Following the ghost once again, they do rotate back to the left hand side. Maru is retaking those center bases. Reynor taking one of Maru's expansions. Okay, cheeky move. We'll see if he can get that up and running. Oh, Nidus on top of the tank. Maru, he doesn't notice. He doesn't notice the Nidus. Remember, there are 9 lurkers. Yeah, lurkers are in the Nidus. They will finish. Massive move here. He takes over the production, and that might just be the game. that might just be it here. Tank goes down, Marines go down, the production's being camped, and Maru, he cannot push back in. Yeah, he cannot push into the main base. This should all be forfeits. I mean, he can always lift, but this is a big loss here for Maru. Yeah, the Great Migration forced to lift up. 1 Nidus. Times is all it takes. Maru again forced to evacuate. Oh, we'll eventually work through this. Now, what surprised me here, and I guess it's partially because we made all these lurkers, is every lurker is going to go down. Oh god, Jesus. Is Reynor's bank. But for now, does commit in, takes down a planetary. Planetary goes down, massive pickup. We got some decent connections here on the bio army as well. Decent connections. But I'm referring to the bank. Reynor, he has no gas. Reynor, what is his gas income looking like? So he's running out here, running out here. He's got 2 gases top right. He's got the high yield gas geyser, and he's got 1 gas on the left hand side as well. So limited gas income. He needs to take his gases here on the northern bases, as Reynor is gas starved. And again, you can see Reynor, he's mining out. He's starting to mine out from his expansions, even top right. That's why this this Maru base is so important, as Reynor's taking resources away from Maru. Taking them away from him. Brutal connection. Fun fact, if you're looking at this and you're like, where are all the Banelings? There are no Banelings because Reynor doesn't have any gas. That's why it's mainly Ling here. Barely any Banelings. You can see 14 Banelings more Finn, and Reynor immediately, he's out of gas. That was all the gas he had left. Now expanding again on the right hand side. I do like this triple drop. Assuming that Maru's headed towards this expansion.
Base is under attack.
Again, I do think it's crucial that he doesn't eye mining. At the same time, Reynor is also in position here as well. He knows how important this base is. Technically, Reynor can now give up on this expansion because there's no value, right? There's no value in this expansion. So Reynor can focus his attention here on the right hand side. Scan reveals gas mining as well. Maru knows. And Maru, he has to make a decision. Again, Maru, he still has so much of a supply entrenched here on the left-hand side, but this area doesn't matter anymore. At least not to Reynor. And it matters for Maru, as like these are the mining bases for Maru, but now he's fully walled up. It's fully walled up. The scary thing here is that Maru's remaxing, and remember, he's remaxing with a super maxed army. We've been here before. We spoke about this last game, and we even spoke about this earlier this game as well. The fact that Reynor staying on this kind of army is fine if he can deny the bases. And he was, right? He was killing these 2 expansions, like, what, 6 different times? Like, there was some big moments here. That has ended. Like, that has ended. Now we have a full wall on the left-hand side, and now we have a siege line as well on the ramp as well, on the high ground. Reynor can now not touch these bases, and now he's stuck on Lingbane Hydra. So I'm concerned for Reynor. I'm concerned. Infestor comes in from behind, gets caught out. Another one coming in from the top side. Fungal does land on mainly Bio. Banelings, they crash on into the tanks. Can he get on top of the ghost though? He's going for the dive. He's going for it. Oh my god, resets the tank count, a decent engage here by Reynor, and he protects his base. More importantly, he protects the expansion. Takes the fight. Didn't kill any ghosts. True. That is concerning. Didn't kill any ghosts. And Reynor's mining out. This is still a fresh gas geyser, by the way. Like it's still untouched. But we're running out of minerals. So Reynor's running out. And again, he's running out of minerals and he's stuck with the mid-tier army. Like, or he's stuck with a very expensive army. I say expensive. It's something you need an economy to sustain it. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. It's an army built to be replaced. And if we can't replace it, then what do we have? As Reynor's now switching into Broodlords, but this is so late. It's a late decision now to switch into Broodlords. I don't know how many Broodlords can actually be made here. So far we have 6, 7. Maru's pushing in. Reynor, he has to fight for this. He cannot abandon this expansion. Broodlords coming in, distracting Maru. Okay. Nice figure for the Broodlords. Tanks are going down. Maru pushing in. Can he break this position? He's clumped up. He's clumped. Oh my god. Bailey's they smash on in. Where are the ghosts, by the way? Ghosts are defending. Oh my god. The ghosts, they're putting in some work. The ghosts, they punish the Broodlords. Planetary's getting low. There's a repair. Fungal doesn't land. Massive snipes. And Maru defends. Maru, he cleans up every single Broodlord. That's 7 Broodlords going down. EMP on the Infestors. No more Fungals. And with that, Maru, he shuts down a very expensive army from Reynor. 1 Broodlord survives. And Reynor's broke. Reynor's broke. Collapsing in, getting us over the tanks. No support here for the army. I say no support, there's what, 4 Marines. And here come the ghosts. Yeah, Maru's done it. Maru, he breaks Reynor. He breaks the army. GG gets called. And Maru, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Game 1 and Game 2 looking very similar here as Maru does take a 2-0 lead. But what happened in both games? In both games, Reynor was stuck on a mid-tier army for a very long time. So efficiency was not on his side. I'll say the one difference this game was that Reynor did successfully take one of Maru's bases. True. So he had a bit of a boosted economy here compared to previously. But again, he was still stuck on Ling, Bane, Hydra. We saw the attempted switch into Broodlords before that, towards the end of the game. But it was only 7 Broodlords, and we saw that they had no support themselves. They got caught out by the ghost. GG, well played. With that, the Broodlords got shut down, the Infestors got shut down, and Reynor, he had nothing left. He was out of money, out of resources, out of steam. GG, well played. Whew, Maru, he does extend his lead in the series, and Reynor, he's, after what happened in these first 2 games, I feel like we have to go back to the drawing board a little bit, referring to how we're approaching the late game. Again, we've been stuck and staying on this more mobile composition for, it feels like, too long. Obviously, retrospectively, like, we can look at it, we can be like, oh, clearly, like, we switched too late into a higher tier army, like, clearly that happened. But in the moment, like, you're doing damage, especially this game, for example. Reynor, he was doing well knocking down bases, but there was a moment where we noticed that stopped, right? There was a moment that we noticed, like, hold on, Reynor's no longer killing expansions, he's no longer killing planetaries. Maru now secured the bases on the left hand side. This is clearly, like, stopped working, right? Like, it's not working anymore. Like, we got to get out of this. Yeah. But GG, well played. With that, Maru takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Now we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Sian. Sian in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. I'm assuming there was a cast. Obrigado. Thank you. As we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. With the red Zerg player himself, we have the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. Just catching up. I thought Reynor thought Broodlords were irrelevant. I don't know what Reynor's thoughts or what he said about that, but Broodlords are a big part of late game. Oh, hello. They're a big part of late game TvZ. As you've seen both in game 1 and game 2, Reynor eventually tried getting there, but the decision to tech up and to tech out and to try to build up into Broodlord Infestor, I feel like in both games was made a little bit too late. As we said, as I tried to emphasize, like, you know, we can, of course, we can see everything ourselves, and we we have that advantage, of course, to see when things start working. But at the same time, again, it does feel like Reynor has been tunnel visioning a little bit too much with this more active style. Whereas Maru, he's one of the best turtle players out there, right? Like, when it comes to turtling up and just like defending, you don't get better than Maru. Like, that is where Maru has like the edge up over Clem, for example. When Maru has some of the best turtle play in the world, or the best. So it's bold for Reynor to try to break in. And at times it was working, to be fair. Like, it was working for a time until it wasn't. But here we go. Here we go. This time we have a standard opener out of Maru going for a Rax expand. This time there's no CC first, and this time there's no 2 Rax Reaper. Let's go. Speaking Portuguese, fala galera, baby, fala galera. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, much love to Sian, much love. As Maru does poke in, pokes in, pulls away, does pick off 1 Zergling. Which is part both Maru and Reynor felt like they had a closing lead, but they both stalled out at one point. Kind of. Like, as we mentioned at the time, Maru's win condition was to deny the center bases, and he did, right? He successfully, like, he was successful in his, you know, goals in the mid game. And that was a big power spike for Maru. Reynor's goal was to deny those fringe bases, and he was doing so, and that, again, as I mentioned, until Maru was able to secure himself. There we go. We're going to be loading into game number 3, and I'm curious to see if we go into another longer and larger game. We've had 2 very long late game scenarios so far in both game 1 and game 2. Do we get there again? So far, standard build going 3 CC into Banshee, assuming there's an add-on swap. There it is. So this is the most standard game we've seen so far to Maru. To run it back, remember, game 1 it was a CC first hyper greed out of Maru into mech. Game 2 was a 2x Reaper build into double factory into mass Widowmine drops in the mid game. Meanwhile, this is looking as standard can be. Now obviously Maru's strengths lie in the late game, and he's been playing for the late game twice now. Does he do it again, or does he switch gears? Maru can be hyper aggressive. He can be more aggressive. So we'll see if he does take his gases at the 3rd. We'll see if he takes extra Raxes. There's a Roddy meme. Oh, okay. There you go. I mean, very clearly, so I guess discussing that a little bit here, Broodlords are very stylistic. I will say that 100%. Like, Broodlords are very stylistic. What I mean by that is, unfortunately, Broodlords are very necessary. They're very, very necessary in the late game, but they slow the game down quite a lot. And there are some players like like Reynor, for example, who's not very fond of using them, just because they just slow the game down very, very heavily. Right? The moment you switch into Broodlord Infestor is the moment that you're like, okay, I'm going to stop being active, I'm going to stop rotating, going for run-bys and counterattacks, and we're going to slow the game down to a crawl, and it's going to be all about these like minute engagements and these minute details about the armies clashing. It's a very different kind of momentum, a very different kind of like unit interaction, and I would imagine that Reynor is very much a player that doesn't enjoy that. It's I guess similar to, I mean, I was going to say it's similar to Skytos, but I don't think any Protoss player avoids playing Skytos. I think they enjoy slowing the game down. But it's similar to TVP. Maybe that's a better example. Where in turn versus Protoss, technically the correct thing to do once you get into the mid game as a Terran player is to just wall up, wall off, and turtle up on 4 bases and max out. And specifically, the Terran player that comes to mind that's similar to Reynor is Bjorn, where Bjorn doesn't like doing that, and Bjorn very often, to his own detriment, tries to stay more like mid-game oriented when it comes to his army, and tries to be more aggressive and more active, and often that hurts him in the end, because he fails to like tech into the late game and tech into Liberators and Ghosts and into like a heavier like defensive army. But Bjorn is very similar to Reynor in TVP. And it makes sense, right? Like, both Bjorn and Reynor are very active players. They're very aggressive, very APM intensive. Meanwhile, it's going to be mech. Let's go, baby, let's go. As Reynor does confirm, he comes in with the Overseer. He does confirm all the factories. So standard opener into mech for Maru. And Reynor, thankfully, did get into Roaches. But yeah, a lot of similarities between Bjorn and Reynor in regards to their preferred like active styles, which can hurt you in the end. As Maru, he does rotate, he's being active, just applying pressure, denying some creep, denying some bases, potentially getting some drone kills as well. Behind this did go into hyperlight rotors, just like in game 1. We spoke about this earlier, but these Banshees, they do provide a little support from the air when it comes to punishing roaches, lings, sniping bases, denying creep. They're a very nice supportive unit here for the mech army, as they do get the expansion. Hatchery goes down. And we spoke about this earlier, but one of the reasons why Banshees do so well here in Mech versus Zerg is because anti-air is delayed quite heavily, right? There's no anti-air here. We do see that Reynor, he's now mixing it up and going into Hydras. Interesting. He's going for a Roach Hydra composition. This will help against the Banshees, but in general, Roach Hydras considered to be a little bit less efficient than like Lingbane Roach Ravager. Versus Mech specifically. So we'll see if Reynor can pull this off. Again, taking a completely different approach compared to game 1. Building up this heavy Roach Hydra composition instead, which I believe is built more to kind of like push forward and have one strong big engage. Meanwhile, ooh, we do surround. Yeah, surrounds the Hellions. But the Banshees, they do punish. And Roach is going down. And remember, Maru's not going into battle mech. There are no Cyclones. No Cyclones, only tank. So tank Hellion instead of Cyclone Hellion. Lings are punished. So far, Maru's been trading well. Sure, he got surrounded, but it was only Hellions, right? It was a very cheap army that Maru lost. Meanwhile, Reynor, he's joined up to 90. He's maxing out on his Roach Hydra composition. Ling Hydra can be okay against mech. It can be okay. I do think that Ling Hydra Viper is ideal against battle mech. Like, that's where it's a little bit stronger. But against traditional mech, I don't see this working too much. What I mean by that, how do these armies interact? Lings flood in, they get shut down by the Hellbats, and then tanks shut down everything else. So I'm a little bit concerned here with Reynor's tech of choice. His composition of choice. Vipers, I mean, they're going to be a big factor here. We spoke about the issue about the tanks, and that's why Vipers come in. Blinding Cloud's going to be crucial to allow Reynor to engage. And eventually, Maru, he will have Ghosts. The Ghost Academy is now done. Academy is done, and Ghosts are going to be on the horizon. Throwing down 2 more Raxes. Getting ready for those Ghosts. Things are deflected. Again, the Blue Flame Hellbats do deter them. Reynor, he's pushing. Okay, how many Vipers? 4. Okay, that's 4 Vipers. The goal needs to be to Blinding Cloud those tanks, and then he can break forward and potentially break the center expansion. Break that planetary. Banshees, they distract. Still causing a big distraction. Reynor does react with the majority of his army. And this is giving Maru time to max out himself. Here come the Ghosts. The Ghosts are coming. They will factor in. Oh. Nice catch. Getting 1, getting 3. Oof, they were stuck with a move. Yeah, 3 Banshees get caught. Nice catch here by Reynor. He can now expand freely. And there's the faster Greater Spire. This is the fastest Greater Spire we've seen out of every game in this series. Scan reveals it, but I do appreciate this out of Reynor. As we mentioned before, after the end of game 2, it does feel like we did emphasize that it feels like Reynor needs to kind of reevaluate how he's approaching the late game. And I do appreciate that he's much faster when it comes to taking up this time. So faster Greater Spire, faster Lurker Den. So he's a little more prepared for Broodlords. Not just that, but it looks like he's a little more willing to switch into Broodlords as well. But can he deal with the main army? Where are the Vipers? If Vipers not coming in, Ooh, EMP does earn them away, but doesn't connect. Again, Reynor has to be so careful with these Vipers. Army's pushing forward. Do we land those EMPs? We do! No, no, the EMPs land and no blinding clouds. With that, the army just crumbles. Reynor, he cannot engage. Ay, ay, ay. He was heavily reliant on those Vipers, and you can see every Viper got EMP'd. Oh, no. Yeah, and the tanks, they just bully the army. They just bully the army from here. Nidus Swarm into the main. Do we have any lurkers? No. Looks like maybe roaches and lings. Nidus does finish. And lings are flooding into the main, but they're hellbats to defend. And this looking dire here for Reynor. You have the lings, they do nothing. Nidus is dealt with. Maru is pushing in. Oof. And the Vipers, they still have no energy. Yeah, late reaction here to pull back to start gathering energy again. We can see Reynor trying to build up into lurkers. And lurkers, they will defend the ramp, but he will lose the low ground expansion. We'll lose that low ground base. Nothing nice across the map. Scan reveals the Vipers. Or he knows. There's a scan. The EMP lands on the Overseers. But Maru, he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. Reynor does have some northern bases, but there's no mining, so it doesn't matter. Like, these hatcheries, these top two bases, I should say, don't really mean anything. As Maru rotating towards an actual mining base here of Reynor. Oof. Yeah, once again, Reynor, you cannot engage without blinding clouds. The army's clumping. Shows the clouds, gets one. Oh, EMP does graze the army here. Oh god, he's just moving in. Yeah. Jesus. Because there are no lurkers or banelings here, the army can just push forward. The army just push on forward here. Speaking of, where are the lurkers? They're in the Nidus Swarm. So expansion goes down. Drones are hunted down as well. Reynor should be losing all these bases. And instead he avoids the army. It's a good call. Based on this composition, Reynor cannot fight head on. He cannot fight Maru. So he's going for a counterattack, going for the Nidus Swarm. Nidus is denied. There's here further into the main. And again, Reynor's stuck with a very fragile composition. Again, like Ling Hydra Lurker isn't really built to fight head on. Banelings will help 100%. Baneling's speed is still on the way. As we try to emphasize, this army can do really well against battle mech, but against a tank Hellion heavy style, it's difficult. Just because the army for Reynor is very much so a glass cannon, right? It's a glass cannon. Does catch 2 tanks. This is denied. Reynor, he will lose another expansion. And again, Reynor, he avoids the army. He's pushing across the map instead. The ghosts are here. The ghosts do defend. He's going back Reynor. And Reynor's getting bullied. He's oh god, getting bullied around here. I mean, the Nidus has potential. No, don't get anything out there. Okay. It was a bait. Thankfully, lurkers, they stay inside. If they went out, they would have all been killed. Changelings, they split up in between the bases. Ling run back on the right hand side. Does catch the tanks, not bad. We got a nice run by. SCVs are falling. Lurkers, they push in towards the left hand side as well. Okay. Reynor making some moves. Lurkers are finally able to be used in some way. Oh, Maru doesn't care. Yeah, he ignores the lurkers. Nidus rooms are being shut down. Reynor's main army is in the center of the map, and meanwhile his most important mining base is here on the right hand side. Reynor, this is his mining expansion. And he may just lose it. Where are the ghosts? True. Without ghosts, Vipers, they can just go to town. Massive blinding cloud. Where are the ghosts, Backy? What's going on? Maru throwing... Oh, there we go. Ghosts are coming in after that. Was up 4 or 5 tanks going down. Ay, ay, ay. 5. That was 5 tanks being thrown away. The ghosts, they were late. Oh, Bailey's, they connect. Yeah, miscontrol of Maru. Massive connections. That was 7 ghosts going down. So this is maybe the best fight that Reynor could have hoped for. And Reynor, he's catching more ghosts. Catching out more ghosts, catching out more tanks. Reynor, he will clean this up. Almost completely, but there's still 4 tanks left over. And Maru, his army was just kind of, it was all over the place. The ghosts were late to the fight, and when they arrived, they all clumped up and they pushed forward, so they were vulnerable to Bailings. The best fight that Reynor could have hoped for. So Reynor's in this. He's in this, Pappy. As Maru does take another expansion. Now we've been here before. We'll get there. As we do have Ling Hydra collapsing here, catching another tank. Trying to. Gets one. One tank goes down, but as we cut the map in half, it comes down to the fringe bases. Top left and bottom right. These fringe expansions here are crucial for Reynor. And once again, if he's denied these bases, then he falls behind. Speaking of, the statue is very low. This time, Maru looks like he's focusing here on the army. Is more attentive here to his force. And Reynor has to retreat. He has to retreat here. And this is what it comes down to. It comes down to this bottom right-hand base and top left. On the one hand, Reynor, he's denying this expansion from Maru, but that doesn't matter. As long as no one is mining, then Maru can take that later. You can always take it later. Maru's pushing through the center. Yeah, zones away the workers. Takes out another expansion. This is still quite tense. Reynor struggling to expand. Now you might be looking at this and be looking at the banks and be like, oh, isn't Reynor okay? No. Maru has a comparable bank with a more efficient army. That's what's scary here. If he had this bank with like Broodlord and Fester, then sure, like Reynor would be in a really strong position. But Reynor, as we mentioned before, this army is built to be replaced. Like this is a very it's a very resource intensive army, because after you fight, you have to replenish everything basically. So it won't take long for Reynor to burn through his bank. With this composition specifically. Meanwhile, Reynor, he will lose center left. At the same time, he's going for bottom right. Maru's out of position. He's racing over. Maru's racing over, and Reynor, he has to get the hell out of here. He should get the planetary. No, he's leaving. Yeah, this move that wasn't quite worth it. He did catch a couple of tanks, but he has to leave. Remember, Reynor cannot fight head-on. He has to rely on hit-and-run tactics instead. Like poke in, get a couple of units, pull away. This expansion will go down. And speaking of burning through bank, it wasn't too long ago that I think Reynor, it was like maybe a minute ago, he had like almost 5,000 minerals. Reynor's down to 1,000. Like in Reynor, he, as we mentioned, This army is just really resource intensive. And Reynor's running out of resources. Benny's rolling in. Gets a ghost. Yeah, he cannot push forward. He cannot push forward here. The tank line does punish, and Maru, he's snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Maru, he will take the series 3-0, knocking Reynor out of LiuLi Cup. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Maru. He does claim the series. Again, Reynor, he did explore a couple different avenues throughout the course of this best of 5, but I want to say that game 3 was the most one-sided game here. It was the most one-sided. Game 1 and Game 2 was a little more active, a little more intense, a little more back and forth, and Reynor did have some strong moments in both Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1, of course, if you remember, Maru, he did go for a CC first build into mech, into a very heavy mech composition. That was on the Old Republic, and Reynor was able to keep up with a more mobile composition and knock down fringe base after fringe base, had that back and forth. Eventually, Maru did slow things down, though, and did overwhelm, did maintain his own expansions. Meanwhile, in Game number 2, we saw the 2x Reaper opener into mass Widow mine drop. It was crazy. 2x Reaper into double factory, into non-stop mine drop play, into eventually that late game scenario once again going into bio tank. We saw that Reynor, he was with a more Lingbane Hydra heavy composition, and Reynor, he was knocking down base after base on the fringe edges of the map until that suddenly ended. Like Reynor, he eventually was unable to stop the expansions. Maru was able to just build up and hunker down and max out and eventually just overwhelm Reynor. Here in Game 3, the reason why I say this is the most one-sided one is because Reynor, he was stuck on a really awkward army, right? Once again, with a very resource intensive army, very cheap army in a sense. With Lingbane Hydra, he could never fight head on. He could never fight the mech army. Lingbane Hydra isn't really built to play against mech. It can play against battle mech, against like a more cyclone heavy style, but pushing into tanks, you are heavily reliant on your Vipers, which we try to emphasize. And more often than not, the Vipers are being EMP'd, right? The Vipers are being EMP'd or sniped. The Vipers, they could barely get any value. There was one good fight that Reynor took in that entire game. One good fight. That was the fight where Maru was out of position and where his ghosts were lagging behind, and then he moved commanded into Banelings. Like, it was a really awkward fight for Maru. That was the one moment that Reynor had. That was it. that was the only moment. Again, Nice runs are being shut down. Lurkers didn't really get any value. I was praising Reynor because I thought that he was switching into Broodlords faster. Remember, we saw the Greater Sprite. We were like, oh, like he's like accepting like this more Broodlord heavy composition earlier, but he never got into it. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations, Maru. He does claim the series, and does advance on to the grand finals. GG, well played. Does frustrate me that Zerg don't have a way to deal with NG-based units. I mean, kind of. There are other ways to deal with that sort of thing, right? Like, there are other ways to try to approach that, with Burrowed Infestors, for example, coming in and catching out the ghosts, or trying to outzone and outposition, of course, as well. I don't think this is a good example of a series where you can talk about the strength of EMP, just because, again, Reynor, he had subpar armies in every game, right? Like, he had more mobile compositions that were more built to like harass. I guess you can talk about that here in this final game, but in general, like this is one of the reasons why Lingbane Hydra Viper isn't really ideal against this more tank heavy style. It's just not really built for it. It's not yeah, it's very difficult to make work. So ideally, Zerg players stay away from it, right? Oh, but GG, well played. GG, well played with that. Congratulations to Maru. Again, a very intense series. We got a lot of late game as well. We got to see the full force of Maru's late game in Game 1, Game 2, and in Game 3. And with that, we have our two finalists. Here. Oh my god, as we had some more one-sided semis, it was Maru taking down Reynor 3-0 in the semifinals, and Cyril taking down Rogue 3-0 in the semis as well. Let's go. Let us go. We do have our top players. It's going to be Maru versus Cyril in the grand finals, and Reynor versus Rogue in the bronze match, in the third place match as well. GG, well played. Again, going to be very exciting to see Cyril versus Maru, just because Cyril, unlike Reynor, he is a player that's kind of like Maru, that is willing to slow the game down. Reynor, as you saw, like, he was so unwilling to get into Broodlords. Like, even the games that he went into Broodlord Infestor, you could see that he was forced into it, where he was like, fine. He was like, I guess I have to make them. But because it was such a late decision every time, like it just, we never got to see it in full force, right? It was always a late decision from Reynor to start to tech out. Meanwhile, Cyril, he's one of those players that's willing to go there faster. Like he's willing to meet Maru in that late game and meet Maru in that slower kind of game state. That's gonna be a long series. That's I can see a lot of hour-long games on the horizon in the grand finals. Not gonna lie. Oh god, not like this, papi, not like this. That's the difference between Cyril and Reynor. I guess you could say that Cyril's a more patient player, for sure. He's a more patient player, but that's also why there's a lot of people that, and myself included, that enjoy Reynor's play because he's more active and more aggressive. He is the more active and aggressive player compared to compared to Cyril. So different style, they're just different players stylistically, and we'll see how they compare. It's similar to Maru and Clem, for example, where Clem, I would say, has stronger mid game than Maru, right? Clem, he's a little more active, a little more aggressive, he's a little more intense and a little more micro oriented in the early and mid game, compared to Maru, he embraces that late game. He slows the game down, he'll throw down a wall of planetaries, get into tanks, get into, I mean, we saw them in the series, right? Like that, this is where Maru thrives in the best. This is where he's at his strongest, by slowing the game down and embracing that late game instead. But GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. Tomorrow we're going to be back with the grand finals and with the bronze match as well. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the bronze match with Reynor versus Rogue, and then we'll have Maru versus Cyril to end the broadcast. That'll be tomorrow. Will be tomorrow. Oh. Directly affects Zerg Energy units, which is a direct game imbalance, not race or units. That is incorrect, just because of how the Zerg army works. You are correct in saying that energy is a resource, and that's something that you can use to your advantage to kind of strip away energy from your opponents. But to like counteract that, I mean, that's why Zerg has Broodlords, which also are hyper efficient units, which aren't energy based, but they use free units to gain value over time as well. Like Zerg, they have other kind of units available to them, which kind of make up for something like an EMP. Just because they can also be hyper efficient. That's why I mentioned that I feel like this series was not a good example to like showcase that, as we were kind of emphasizing. Reynor did everything he could to avoid going Broodlord Infester, whereas that's kind of like the style that is able to keep up with Terran in the late game. So it's important to bear that in mind. That's why I said that this series was not a good example to kind of like try to push that kind of narrative or push that kind of that idea. But otherwise, GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Maru, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow here for the grand finals and for the bronze match. Likewise, we'll see you guys later on tonight, this evening, for C Duckling Open. So good, so good. But SDO is going to be this evening. It's our bronze to diamond tournament, of course. That is going to be I'm going to be adminning. That's going to be hosted and casted by Kuro. That's going to be this evening. So again, we do host this as a monthly tournament. Every single month we have an SDO. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup tomorrow evening as well, Sunday evening, and of course Sunday morning will be LiuLi Cup grand finals. We'll get you there, Pat. We'll get you. Likewise, if you enjoyed our content, if you enjoy our tournaments especially, you can support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, does fund it, so it funds our monthly tournaments and our weekly open cups as well. So if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys with the finale of LiuLi Cup tomorrow morning in less than 24 hours, or we'll see you with our bronze to diamond tournament later on this evening. And if you're out there, if you play StarCraft, if you happen to be lower league, lower ranked, then you can take part, you can play as well, bearing in mind we don't allow off racing. So if you're a Masters player, if you're a GM player, and if you're like, oh, but my off race is like platinum or diamond, nah, unfortunately we don't allow for that, just because there's still like an inherent imbalance there when it comes to your strength as a player. So it's all about, preserving the integrity of the players, of the play of the tournament. So we don't allow off racing. Otherwise we'd have like even like pro players jump in and play like their diamond off race or something. So we don't allow for that. But otherwise, if you're out there and if you are a lower league player, then consider playing with other players of a similar skill level. A lot of fun. That's going to be this evening. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later on this evening or tomorrow. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us on YouTube. ! Socials in the chat. We do stream on YouTube on a daily basis. Every single day we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we also upload on YouTube every day as well. Plenty of content, plenty of VODs. If you missed out on previous groups of LiuLi Cup, or Pegasus Cup, or Home Story Cup, or Thunderfire, or Rongi Cup, it's all on YouTube. Do check it out. Do check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.